Thank you. I'd like to yield time now to Mr. Boyer, a member of the Indiana delegation.
I thank the gentlelady for yielding. I have to agree with my friend and colleague, Barney Frank. We watched someone of great strength suffer from the cruelness of cancer. And it was really hard to watch Julia. You know, this is an individual that I spent more time in the airport with than ever here in Congress. And those of us who fly back and forth, we know what that's like. For 11 years in the Indianapolis airport is really where I spent most of my time with Julia Carson. She and I shared a subcommittee leadership on the Veterans Affairs Committee, but that doesn't even come close to the times in the Indianapolis airport. I would rather remember the lady that I first met. Julia Carson this is an individual this is a lady that wore a big hat with a witty personality, with a great smile and a big heart. And I pity the individual that fell for any of her oh shucky darns wit. I just don't understand. Can you help explain it to me? Because you lost if you believed any of that. She suckered me in pretty good when it came to the support of the midfield terminal with the Indianapolis airport. She had just gone on to the Transportation Committee. She understood the need for infrastructure for a city like Indianapolis, and she wanted some of my help. And before I realized it, I am carrying the water here, getting the letter of getting the support from all of the Indiana delegation, and said, "Oh, it'd be okay if you go down and talk to the FAA." I mean, she was steering me the whole time. And, but you know, I didn't mind. It was for the betterment of Indianapolis and Indiana. But don't let anybody fool you who was really controlling the strings here. It was Julia. And what a great lady. A great lady because this Hoosier treated kindness like grain. She understood that if she sows it, kindness will only increase. And I think she used that in her life. She used kindness to go after her political enemies. She used that big smile and kindness to achieve great things. And it was also an enduring quality about her. And for that, that's what I want to remember Julia most by. I have to end with this, because she loved her Indianapolis Colts. When it came to the redistricting in Indiana, and we all know what redistricting is like, sometimes those maps and the lines can go down the alleyways and sidewalks almost. But she made sure that her district, that etched in, and it took the headquarters of the Indianapolis Colts in the training facility, because she wanted her boys, as that's what she told me. I said, "Julia, I got most of this territory all surrounded, and you went deep down the road and etched out and took them out." And she smiled and she said, "Those are my boys." And she loved her Indianapolis Colts, and I'm glad that she got to see the Colts have that Super Bowl on her watch, because it only made her smile even that much greater and that much bigger. And that's the Julia Carson that I remember and loved. With that, I yield back.
I want to comment as well that I want to remember Julia Carson because she was a fantastic dresser. She was always immaculately dressed, all kinds of wonderful outfits, and I always think about how great she used to look as she came on the floor. At this time, I'd like to yield time to my colleague and good friend from the great state of North Carolina, or former chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, Mel Watt.
Let me first of all thank the gentlelady for convening this special order in memory of our dear friend and colleague Julia Carson. If you didn't know Julia Carson, you probably would think she was a study in contradictions. That's kind of always the way I felt about her. She was this person that from the very beginning, when she came to Congress, which was the first time I met her, appeared to be a very fragile person. And so you would see her on the floor, and she didn't appear to be well. And yet you'd go on a trip to South Africa, and there she would be out among the children, meeting with them and undertaking the rigors of an international trip that you knew was an imposition physically on the most physically fit member of Congress. You would see her and talk to her, and her voice would be so mild and gentle. And yet, when she undertook an issue, it was just like a metamorphosis, because she was so articulate and passionate about that issue. And you would see her, and she'd look at you sternly and make a quip, and you'd walk away thinking that it was kind of a straightforward statement, and then all of a sudden it would dawn on you that she had zinged you without you even being aware of a subtle point that she had made. There were these contradictions there that I loved about Julia Carson. And once you got to know her, sometimes she would game you, as Barney Frank has indicated. She'd appear unsophisticated politically, and then all of a sudden she would pull one of the most important political maneuvers, the tribute to Rosa Parks, that took such delicate balancing to pull the elements together. This was a woman, a lady of contradictions, apparent contradictions, yet once you got to know Julia Carson, you knew that there was one person there who was just steady as a rock. She was solid. We loved her, and we express our sincere condolences to her family. And with that, I know there are many who wish to speak, so I yield back.